This video was made in collaboration with NARUTOPEDIA. For more information, check out the link in the description. The Life of Iruka Umino from Naruto. Iruka Umino is a Chūnin of Konohagakure who served primarily as an instructor at the academy until being promoted to Headmaster years later. Welcome to the Amagi. In today's video, we're going over the life of Iruka Umino. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Early life. Iruka's parents were killed in the nine-tailed demon fox's attack 12 years before the beginning of the series. Initially, a young Iruka was present on the battlefield and wanted to stay in order to protect his mother. His father declared that it was the parents' duty to keep their child safe from harm. He was forcibly removed from the battlefield by an unknown shinobi while he called out for his parents to no avail. With his family gone, Iruka had no one to give him attention. He thereafter became a prankster, trying to gain attention to stave off his loneliness. He would spend his time at the monument where his parents' names were engraved, and in his darkest moments he would be cheered up by the third Hokage. Mizuki was a childhood friend of Iruka's after the Nine-Tails attack and usually made him feel better. In the anime, it was noted that due to other people giving Iruka more attention than they do to Mizuki, Mizuki's kindness to Iruka was revealed to be just an act to gain the Hokage's approval, all the while making Iruka miserable discreetly. In the anime, it was revealed that Iruka became a teacher because he wanted to pass on the will of fire to the next generation in this manner, inspired by the third Hokage's wisdom. When Naruto became his student, he found it awkward to deal with the person containing the very monster responsible for his parents' death. He tried to ask the third Hokage if he could not teach Naruto, though he was eventually disabused of this notion by Kakashi Hatake. Later, Naruto went into the woods to steal items from corpses. Iruka chased him down and protected him from Takigakure's spies who were attacking Naruto, eventually backed out by Kakashi. After saving Naruto and bringing back the document attached to the artifact the latter retrieved, he reprimanded Naruto for such reckless behavior. This would surprise Naruto, as this was the first time anyone in the village showed him they actually cared for his well-being. He also thanked the third for assigning Naruto to him. He thus resolved to be straightforward and deal with Naruto strictly in class from then on in order to train him to become a fine shinobi. As a result, Iruka became the main reason Naruto did not become a sociopath like Gaara did. Prologue, Land of Waves. When Naruto managed to evade other ninja after desecrating the Hokage rock with graffiti, Iruka captured his student and berated him for not focusing on the upcoming graduating exams. While Naruto was supposed to transform into Iruka, he instead turned into a naked girl, with Iruka suffering a massive nosebleed before giving Naruto a reprimanding. Iruka then punished Naruto to clean the Hokage rock and then invited him to Ramen Ichiraku, where he learned of Naruto's desire to become Hokage. The next day, when Naruto failed to conjure at least one clone, Iruka failed him, despite Mizuki's false sympathetic reconsideration. When Mizuki tricked Naruto into stealing the Scroll of Seals, Iruka tracked down Naruto before being hit by a barrage of kunai and realizing the boy was set up. Iruka then protected Naruto from Mizuki's Fuma Shuriken after Naruto learned that he is the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. Nevertheless, Naruto then ran away despite Iruka's pleas and apologies for unintentionally allowing Mizuki to set him up. Intent to protect Naruto regardless of him learning the truth, Iruka insisted that he never hated Naruto and saw him only as a ninja of their village. Witnessing Naruto create a high amount of advanced clones after being spurred on by his faith in him, Iruka allowed Naruto to graduate from the academy, giving him his own forehead protector. Chūnin Exams. When Team 7 is entered in the Chūnin Exams, Iruka voiced concern, and as such in the anime, he personally tested each member individually to see if they were ready by disguising himself as a Amagakure ninja. Once they passed the exam's second phase, he acted as a messenger that granted them access to the preliminaries. Konoha Crush. During the invasion of Konoha, Iruka escorted his students to safety in the shelters behind the Hokage rock, promising that he and the other instructors would protect them even at the cost of our lives. He shared ominous looks with Konohamaru when Hiruzen's representation cracked, later comforting Konohamaru during the third Hokage's funeral. Search for Tsunade. Iruka met Naruto at their favorite Ramen Ichiraku to listen to Naruto talk about his adventure, and later explained to Naruto that they have to do many missions to show other villages that they were still strong, even though their strength had been cut in half. Mizuki Tracking Mission. In the aftermath of the invasion, Iruka was forced to suspend his teaching duties in order to go on missions and fill the void in personnel. In the anime, he was assisted by Pakun to find Mizuki and go after Naruto and Tonton. When Iruka caught up, they sent Tonton back to the village and Pakun leads Naruto and Iruka to Shizune. Shizune led them in pursuing Mizuki, while they soon fell into a trap. Iruka then revealed that Shizune is not Shizune but Mizuki himself. While Naruto battles with Fujin and Raijin, Iruka battles it out with Mizuki. Iruka wanted to bring back the old Mizuki, but Mizuki revealed that he was only nice to Iruka because he's the third Hokage's favorite. Mizuki led Iruka into a building used to test academy instructors and battled there. After that, Naruto and Pakun caught up with Iruka and they went to Mizuki's lover, Tsubaki. Tsubaki helped them reach Mizuki, but it was too late. Mizuki had drank a formula and become more strong and monstrous. They battle again, with Mizuki having the upper edge. Iruka then came up with a plan to trap Mizuki, giving Naruto a chance to use Rasengan on him. Sunagakure Support Mission. He later found time at the end of part 1 to see Naruto off before he left the village to train with Jiraiya. Kazekage Rescue Mission. Iruka met with Naruto when he returned 2.5 years later and cheered him up after he found out that all of his friends had advanced in rank during his absence. Pain's Assault. After Jiraiya was killed, Iruka comforted Naruto and told him that Jiraiya would always be proud of him. He went on to inform Naruto of how Jiraiya had always bragged about him and had mentioned multiple times how he thought of Naruto as a grandson. Iruka also reminded him that he was now the one to carry on Jiraiya's legacy. During Pain's attack on Konoha, Iruka was found by one of Pain's bodies while attending to a wounded ninja. He refused to tell Pain where Naruto was and was almost killed. Kakashi intervened, however, allowing Iruka a chance to get the ninja to a hospital and later to join a squad of Konoha ninja to help repel the invasion. Following Pain's attack, Iruka was last seen apparently injured but alive, having been protected by one of Katsuyu's divisions. After Pain resurrected everyone he had killed, Iruka was seen standing along with the rest of the villagers. He thought back to the days when Naruto was at the academy, and compared it to the present while watching Naruto being cheered by the whole village. After these memories, a proud smile spread across his face. Past Arc, the Locus of Konoha. In the anime, Iruka was later seen meeting with his fellow teachers Suzume and Daikoku Fureno, making preparations to salvage items for class. He sees the academy and remembers how he first became Naruto's teacher. Fourth Shinobi World War, Confrontation. During the Fourth Shinobi World War, Naruto and Killer Bee, as the last two Jinchuriki, were confined to an island to keep them out of Akatsuki's clutches, Naruto being unaware of this and the war. After Naruto began to get suspicious and tried to leave, a handful of shinobi tried to stop and convince him to go back in. Iruka was among them, and he convinced Shibi Aburame to let him talk to Naruto. Iruka attempted to trick Naruto into believing that he had a second mission on the island. However, Naruto decided to go out anyway and used Sage Mode to barge past the guards, in the process losing his forehead protector. Before he could leave, however, he was bound with the shadow imitation technique by a Nara clan member, but not before he sensed the war raging outside. With Naruto demanding the truth, Iruka revealed that there was a war raging in order to protect him, and tried to persuade him not to intervene and risk capture. When Naruto declared that he would end the war on his own, Iruka said that Naruto was like a little brother to him, and he wouldn't be able to bear it if Naruto was captured. Naruto stated that it was Iruka who first recognized him and gave him his forehead protector, and asked him why he doubted his power now. Glancing down at Naruto's fallen forehead protector, Iruka decided to return it to him, only to erect a barrier to trap Naruto. Naruto, however, enters his Nine Tails chakra mode and easily breaks out of the barrier and resists all attempts to subdue him before making his way to the battlefield. On his way, Naruto found a note in his forehead protector from Iruka, telling him to come back alive. When Killer Bee arrived, Iruka told him to protect Naruto, and they bumped fists. The Eight Tails told him that he couldn't keep an eye on Naruto, but Bee said no one could, and said to Iruka that he was in Naruto's heart and everything he taught was still inside, even today. Kaguya Ōtsutsuki strikes. Ultimately, Iruka, along with Shibi and the rest of the world, were freed from the infinite Tsukiyomi Genjutsu by Naruto and Sasuke after they ended the war. The last, Naruto the movie. Iruka invited Naruto as a special lecturer for the day to the academy to instruct students. Later, he evacuated with other Konoha villagers to an underground shelter to take cover during the meteor shower. Afterwards, he celebrated with everyone when they heard the worldwide announcement about the moon crisis being averted. Konoha Hiden, the perfect day for a wedding. Shortly after he received his invitation to the wedding, Iruka was approached by Naruto, who asked if Iruka would attend as his father. Iruka happily agreed at the time, and as soon as Naruto left, was overwhelmed with emotion, something that now reoccurs every time he sees Naruto listed on the menu at Ichiraku Ramen. Iruka can't help but feel indebted to Naruto, whose presence first in his classroom and now in his life pulled him out of the self-pity he experienced following his parents' deaths and convinced him to dedicate his life to teaching. Were it not for Naruto, Iruka worries he would have turned out like Mizuki. Iruka buys a wedding gift before stopping by Ichiraku Ramen, where he smiles at the realization that he won't get to have dinner with Naruto as often because Hinata will now be cooking for him. When he gets home, he looks at the disarray and disrepair he lives in and resolves to find a life partner just like Naruto has. Iruka attended Naruto and Hinata's wedding, becoming overwhelmed with emotion as soon as he came through the entrance. He congratulates them while being tearfully happy over Naruto becoming a man. He was seen putting a flower on Naruto's suit and was his best man at the wedding. New era. In the following years, Iruka continued to serve as an instructor to the academy and eventually was promoted to headmaster. He also continued to proudly watch Naruto grow. On the day that Naruto was to be inaugurated as the 7th Hokage, Iruka joined the rest of the village to watch the ceremony. As he stood beside Sakura to watch Naruto give his speech upon becoming Hokage, Iruka noticed that his favorite pupil seemed off, who was really a disguised Konohamaru filling in for the knocked out Uzumaki. While Naruto would diligently perform his duties at Hokage, Iruka noted that Naruto needed to improve his multitasking with his family life. Academy Entrance Arc. In the anime, 10 years after the 4th Shinobi World War ends, Iruka attends the entrance ceremony for the new students. Ultimately, he and the other instructors were left mortified when Boruto Uzumaki crashed a train into the Hokage Rock. When the academy had a new transfer student, Mitsuki, and Shino was having problems keeping the class in line, Iruka offered to have Anko Midarashi help out. After Sumire Kake turned herself in as the culprit behind the attack on the village, Iruka was given the report. When Shino Aburame insisted to let her return to the academy under his supervision, Iruka noted that despite the leniency presented to her, the nature of her returning was still depending on her choice. School Trip Arc. In the anime, to improve relationships with other villages and symbolically show the warring era was over, the 7th Hokage set up an official class trip for the academy to go to Kazekage. Upon presenting this idea to Iruka, the principal admired this bold step to easing remaining tension from the previous warring era and approved of the idea. Meanwhile, Boruto tries to prank Iruka with a wind release jutsu. Naruto appears to reprimand his son, but tells him to put more finesse in pulling pranks. As they argue, Iruka remarks at them. After the class returned from the trip, Iruka received a letter from the 6th Mizukage about the events, learning that Boruto, Sarada, and Iwabi aided Chojuro in stopping a coup d'etat. When confronting the students about it after Boruto tried to get into trouble with a long-winded story, Iruka had the 3 students repaint a classroom as punishment. Graduation Exams Arc. As the ninja classes began preparing for their graduation exams, Iruka requested that Kakashi be a proctor, which the retired Hokage agreed to. On a unique decision, Kakashi decided to get a better understanding of the students by posing as a reporter and interviewing them. Afterwards, Iruka requested that Kakashi go easy on the students during the exam. Kakashi, however, insisted that they can't have students pass with the wrong type of mentality, and as such would not hold back on them. Ultimately, Kakashi passed all the students after they showed true teamwork and loyalty towards each other. Despite this, Iruka was still very annoyed at how intense Kakashi was on the students. Versus Momoshiki Arc. Iruka was seen watching the Chūnin Exams alongside Kakashi, Guy, and Konohamaru. In the anime, several months later, the academy began hosting an annual one-day trial session for young children to experience the shinobi life. While Iruka was happy to see that Himawari Uzumaki would be attending, it made him nostalgic for his own teacher days, upset that he couldn't directly teach anymore as headmaster. Shino offered for Iruka to at least watch from the sidelines, which he agreed to. During the day's final lesson as a team mission, he watched as Himawari was scolded by one of her teammates for not taking this course without being too sure that it was the career she wanted. After the 2 teammates left her to sulk, Iruka approached her. As she admitted to feeling guilty for not taking this seriously like her teammates, Iruka insisted that there's no rush to find a career path at her age, but rather this trial was merely meant to give children motivation on looking towards the future. Himawari then resolved herself to complete the mission, earning praise from Iruka for her gutsiness akin to her father. Iruka and the teachers then watched with pride as she was able to reconcile with her teammates, and working together they were able to complete their mission. Did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.